Now we're good.
We'll call to order the October 10th, 2023 meeting of the North Beach Planning Commission. We have two items on the agenda tonight. Well, two public items on the agenda. Gotcha. And then a work item. The first is a Category 1 review of 9201 Annapolis Avenue. The second one is a Category 1 review of 9106 Chesapeake Avenue. So maybe just going in order here. Rick, if you can give us a brief on this on 9201 and the use.
Yeah, I believe we have several of the applicants are online. So this building was previously the fortune teller building that was sold by Dale. The new applicants are proposing a urgent care facility. I believe that will be linked with MedStar. Does meet all the zoning requirements. I believe they have all of their licenses that will be required for the conditional use. And they are proposing to tear the small house down behind it and do parking off street around the whole building.
With what we were given, it shows like a build out. It doesn't show really anything of the building,
site
site
plan.
plan or anything.
Yeah,
So what do we actually, other than the conditional use?
just use, correct?
Just the use, yeah.
Okay.
They did want to let you know that the empty lot next to it, where the yard previously was, and then what's behind it, the building that will come down there will be where they'll provide the parking. They'll be able to provide.
But they'll bring all that to us.
The building on 7th Street.
Yeah.
Yeah, to the right. Well,
No, it's to the left. There's a greenhouse right behind. It's been empty for years.
If you're facing it, 1-7, it's the one to the right.
yeah,
yes. Yes.
There isn't one adjoining it.
Not the one that's the green for parking, but there's
The small apartment,
yeah,
that'll probably stay.
that'll stay.
and so the building itself will stay. Building next to will be raised, and then they'll have that as parking and access. Okay.
They'll be providing their off-street parking.
Okay. And I was a little confused here. Will they be using the entirety of the building? Because there's one, oh, this is not in scope. So I was just curious what.
That's
No,
the
that
adjoining
is-
part.
Yeah, that's a single efficiency apartment that will stay.
Okay, great.
They're increasing the number of plumbing fixtures in there considerably from what was 2 to 7 or 8 now, right?
Plumbing fixture.
Well, they've got hand sinks and, exam rooms with hand sinks and water fountain. Is there any concern with the number of added plumbing fixtures on the plumbing line?
So it should be,
Sewer line?
it should be sufficient. There's been several things there before that had more that have come out and then put back. And
There was
come
a hair
out.
salon there
So-
one time.
Yeah, there was a hair salon at one time that it maintained.
So,
The infrastructure that the town has in the ground should be more than sufficient.
yeah, 5 hand sinks and 1 toilet.
And a water fountain?
Ooh, you got a good eye there, boy. Let's see. Directly within our purview, could you read over the conditionalities? It's very simple in terms of the.
Must meet all licensing requirements, local, state, and federal related to the respective occupation, and maintain said licenses in good standing, and must have a North Beach business license. So, I mean,
They'll
that's
submit
very,
those with the license.
yeah.
So in order to get their license, they'll have to submit their state
Correct.
accreditation. I mean, on the surface of it, it doesn't look like we have much to. I was just saying on this.
The bonus is that they're actually
Yeah.
offering the off-street parking.
Um,
And Mr. Gill is online. I believe 2 or 3 of the applicants are online. If you have any questions.
we have no review for parking. I mean, we can ask and see, but formally we have no review for that, correct? Like no purview for.
Oh, you can determine it at site plan, but they are actually offering off-site parking.
Yeah. So, And I'm assuming that would be a fair number of spaces if both of those
Yeah,
are.
I think there's 4 exam rooms. It'll probably operate the way they have spoke, the same way the rest, the 2 or 3 others in the county are by appointment, so they'll be able to
Yeah.
coordinate, people coming and going.
But for our direct consideration tonight, it's
Yeah.
really voting on the conditionality of this. It's conditional in the zoning area. Well, in some ways, it's kind of pro forma if they get their if they get
Right.
their accreditation from the state and submit it with their business license for North Beach, they're in compliance. So unless there's
One of the applicants is a surgeon with MedStar. So I don't think that as far as the accreditations, I don't think they're gonna have any issues there.
okay. Do we need to take a formal vote on that or no? It's not, I'm a little unclear.
Yes.
So,
Do you have any questions of Mr. Gill?
yeah, I mean, we can open up the floor for any
Do you have any other comments?
questions. Yeah, I mean, would the applicants like to say any words in support of the application? It is fairly straightforward from our end.
Your Linda or Haraj Gill?
I'm sorry, everybody. Mr. Gill was going to say a couple words and on behalf of the application. I'm just helping him out. He is having a little bit of technical difficulty.
No,
This one.
no problem.
I'm so sorry.
So he's using the existing footprint.
All right, can you hear us now, please?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, this is Raminder Gill and my wife, Dr. Riva Gill. Like Mr. Crump had mentioned, she has been internal medicine for over 35 years with her private practice. And we wanted to go ahead and start off with a small urgent care because we have actually looked at the community. We have looked at and spoken to the folks. And everybody is very, very appreciative of the idea of bringing in urgent care and definitely want to do what is right for the community. So we have actually submitted all of our architectural plans. And yes, absolutely, through the credentialing program and through all of the accreditation and licensing, that is an absolute must for us.
Great. It's a great addition to the beach.
I think so. I think
Thank
it's a
you
nice
so
addition
very
to
much.
North
Thank
Beach.
you. Really looking forward to it.
Any questions, Bill?
Most of this goes through the county, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So
we're just really conditionality.
Yeah.
It
it meets.
I had just asked them to submit the layout just so you could see what's being offered. It looks like you're gonna have X-ray services as well as you're gonna have blood services too, right?
Yeah,
Blood
yeah.
draws and
We plan on doing
Yeah,
Yeah.
106.
medical facility services.
There's not an ADA piece on that coming into the place or anything
Yeah.
like that.
There
It was
is
super-
supposed to be an ADA compliant ramp that we are building to allow ADA compliant access, and all the bathrooms are to ADA compliant access regulations, excuse me.
Okay, I realize this is a preliminary package, so I didn't see that, so that's why I was asking, and then. Not to pick nits, but I'm on your codes and standards on your G101 and you're referencing DC residential code.
you know what, that was probably my fault.
That's okay, no, I mean, so,
They submitted, they had submitted one and asked me was the way the package looked correct.
oh, yeah,
And then when I put it together, I probably deleted the wrong page and left
Okay.
the DC one on there.
There's a couple of conflicts and it's not really under our purview, but under your wall construction, your wall types aren't adding up to what your notes say and what your plans show. But if you're going with the half-inch drywall on either side of a exam room, I would suggest you probably consider the 5/8 instead and insulate those walls for sound. But other than that, there's a little conflict on your drawings, but it's not our
Yes,
job.
either, yeah.
Yes, sir, absolutely. I'm sure that permitting probably will also pick it up, but absolutely, whatever recommendations, suggestions, they're very welcome.
Would anyone like to make a motion to approve as
I would.
presented?
Make a motion to approve the submitted plan as submitted.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much for thinking of North Beach for your new business. We really appreciate it.
No, we thank you. We thank you for the time this evening. Appreciate it.
I'll
and
get
look-
a hold of you tomorrow, Mr. Gill, and we'll go over what the next steps are.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Crump. And gentlemen and ladies, committee members, have a good evening.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Okay, category one review 9106 Chesapeake. It's a quick rundown, Rick. We've looked at this.
Yep, so this project has been here previously.
Yep.
The big question with the project has been, and still is, the parking. The applicant has revised the site plan to show 4 off-street parking spaces in the front. And in doing so, they have also revised the appearance of the building, I think is much improved.
I think you're saying there's
Yeah,
gonna be
look up and
4.
down that
There's
street.
9 by
Oh, okay, so
by
this
15.
doesn't
There's some
have
potential to do that.
One,
Some
2,
have,
3,
some
4,
haven't.
so
There's
But
3
it's-
on, there's 3 currently.
And that's gonna be
Two
the
for
back.
each.
Especially with that, because I'm looking at this.
and maybe in the front.
It'd be
It's gonna
okay
be
though, is it
doing
gonna
this
swing
little
under it?
one.
Doesn't have any access.
And
You
and
know,
that's
even
why
if
it's
we
being
give you
more here.
variance, or you ask to get that close, I don't think we can go with,
Is,
unless you have it guttered, a certain.
you're here.
Love the design.
You're right.
It's a great new design. I like it.
Yeah.
Much better. Yeah.
You're having your parking spaces in front of the building?
Down the street, so.
4
Right now, it's
spaces
not-
for 3 units.
Yeah.
The other
And
side.
how does that
Potentially, you could have.
comply?
another flexibility.
Well,
No,
it's
definitely in the future.
site plan approved only, there's no requirement, there's no set requirement in that zone.
residential development?
Correct.
Sorry, I only put
Okay.
it down.
Yeah.
Okay,
no,
2
just-
street and
just
4
curious.
potentially on.
Right on the street.
Okay.
You're looking
Um,
at it,
So half of the houses on the street are only off-street parking, the other half have driveways with parking in the front.
Future, you may have to worry about, I just thought.
Right,
Or
but they have like,
sidewalks.
like a single, you know, okay, yeah, yeah, it's true, but not half of them. Mercy,
Yeah,
one,
it's about half and half.
2. Oh, yeah, I don't know what. So you're not gonna be using the back for parking at all? Or
Pretty close where
access.
it is now, this is it, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, that's it, right? Yeah, 906.
Okay.
Can you give some sense of where the proposed front of the house is in relation to the current current building?
Well, he runs your string line out. On the,
It
kind of
comes
the
at
face of the
40.
structure.
You should be able to, if you zoom, if you go down, it should show, there you go. On the bottom half there.
It's so fancy, I can't read it.
Oh, yeah, but he's looking at an actual picture. In the bottom right,
Yeah, that's
Here.
what it is.
down
Yeah,
there,
yeah, no, I know. I'm just trying to get a sense of,
yeah,
just on the
the look of it, yeah.
street elevation, like where, I'm assuming it's gonna be pretty close to what's here.
Yeah, I think that's what I was, when I looked at it, I was, looked like if you were
You've got 2 18-foots? Is that what it is?
9 foot, and they're 18 long. So
Okay.
it's gonna be like 36,
You
at
like
least
townhouse
36
version.
or 40 feet in front.
Oh, then maybe wrong.
So this is 40 feet off the street.
Is that what that is? Is that what that says?
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a setback, 4.6 or whatever.
From the street, so it's
Oh.
45 feet back.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get a sense of.
Plus This is a photograph of a drawing, so it doesn't actually scale. I'm trying to pull tape on it.
40 something, is it? That might be 45, 6 or something.
Talking about that.
The question I have is always about the eaves,
Hmm.
which appear to go all the way to the property line.
Yeah, we were just discussing. it.
By code, you are allowed to do that.
I understand that, but when you do that, then the guy next to you can't do that. Because you'd be touching like that. So that's where I have an issue with, hey, can you pull it back 6 inches? Make it 2'6" instead of 3'0". So when the guy next door decides to do that, you've got a foot between the eaves. Instead of touching.
I think that could be accommodated.
Could you pull that drawing back up? There's a dimension there. I can't seem to get my brain around here. Okay, so the bottom right, you've got the site plan arrow giving you a scale 1 inch. What's that string line from? It looks like 40. Is it 40?
Yeah.
40 something, 6 inches.
Right where the site plan arrow is there. What?
Yeah, right
It's
there.
45 feet, 6 inches.
Okay,
45.
thank you.
Okay.
That, so right to here, using the ever trusty Google Maps, is 50 feet.
To the
Right,
sidewalk.
because there's another string to it here. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So right there is 50.
Yeah, so I was looking at the eaves too, and, you're probably gonna have to show us your guttering plan. Right, 'Cause I need, I got a lot of experience on close buildings. So you're gonna have to show me how you're gonna do that, and not just chuck the water onto I mean, right now, it's not an issue, but in the future, obviously, there's one property that may want to develop. And then so we need to see that that's not gonna happen, to take a look at how close it is.
You've got a 12-12 going to a 6-12, right? So the ice could potentially get a lot of momentum and shoot off onto the adjoining properties. And so I know that's kind of inevitable, but the least thing that could be done on a metal roof is to put ice guards along the edge. Because it actually could kill somebody. You get a big sheet of ice shooting off of there.
Yeah, and that's a good product for that too.
Yeah, for metal roof for sure.
So you're gonna want to show the guttering, because you probably want a deeper gutter. Because again, you don't want it just to bounce off and all those good things, so.
Now, I have a question because the 4 parking spaces doubled up, but they literally, to meet code, it'll literally come back down to the sidewalk. So you're on the sidewalk practically, or you're so close to it, or you could be blocking the sidewalk. I hope I'm saying that right.
A conforming parking space is 9 by 18.
Right,
So the parking, required parking is inside the property line.
Bumper to bumper,
Yeah.
which
Bumper
is
to
not
bumper.
how people park.
yeah.
It's the same as the townhouses, the townhouse forms.
There's sidewalks on both sides of the street there too, so.
Looked at it like 3
Yeah.
4 times.
I mean, that's a resident issue if they're parking in the sidewalk.
Well, it is, but it's Chesapeake Avenue. It's, it's the main drag.
Yeah. Back.
And the eaves, okay, I understand commercial with commercial, there's no setback.
Even in the residential, there's not
Exactly.
for the
Back,
overhangs of the
Oh,
house.
gotcha, okay.
They can go all the way to the property line.
Blocking me in tonight.
Well, that's what we kind of asked them to provide for us,
Yep.
so. And
And there will be a full water quality management plan submitted as well that will get approved from my office.
And you sure you don't want to have a business on the first floor just by chance? Guess not. Okay, never mind. I mean, it's very attractive.
It's a cool arts and crafts exterior.
Yeah, I think moving it back, I think the concern before was that it wouldn't look good with the parking in the front, but I think with the enhanced architecture on the outside, I think it's I think it's a very attractive building. I don't think it'll look bad on the street at all.
Your, so your back door, I don't see it. How much, backyard do you have?
About 45 feet.
Never mind, that's fine, okay.
Yeah, this is a 150-foot lot.
150? Okay,
Two paths of egress.
Yes.
Well, that's gotta be code compliant, right? I guess they consider a window. Oh,
Yeah,
The windows are 7:30.
yeah.
30. Emergency.
okay, he provided,
so,
okay, he provided what we asked. him
Yeah.
for.
Um,
Covered that.
What we, the applicant would like to see is a recommendation for the Board of Appeals for the setbacks.
mhm.
And then, if you're okay with everything else. Being that the gutters get pulled back so that they're not at the property line. The mandate that the roofs will have the ice guards. You can either determine to have it come back or you can approve it tonight. based on the
I
setback.
think we can provide recommendations, with the caveat that those are
Yeah.
integrated
Right.
into
it's
the
been through
design.
here enough.
Been here enough. Let them move on, but we don't actually vote on that. It's just a verbal
You would vote
For the
on,
setbacks.
on presenting,
you would vote on this presentation and then make the recommendation with the Board of Appeals that you're okay with the setbacks at 2.5 feet.
okay, so it'd be a vote to, forward to the Board of Appeals with a recommendation for approval. With
With
considerations.
these caveats, right?
No parking in the back. So your folks aren't coming through the back alley to try and park, I mean. So, I mean, because I know that's been an issue with some people, will they, because you're gonna have such a large backyard. I mean, are you gonna have a fence back there so they won't even be allowed to park back? I mean,
There's huge
Hey.
great difference between there, so unless you developed the other person's property or had.
I know, well,
access to that.
renters, you never can
Yeah.
tell sometimes. I'm just trying to, or put trees back there. I mean, that would be, I guess, something to prevent somebody from just saying, oh, I'm gonna put my big old truck back in the backyard. I mean, trees, you're gonna put some trees up anyway. There you go. Okay,
I know.
does that work? Does anybody else have any questions? Because I know there people came here for this.
Hi, my name is William Stagg. I'm the owner and resident at 9113 Dayton Avenue. Maybe new to some of the people in here because we just closed on property and the gym. So it's kind of my first time hearing about this.
Okay,
I'm very happy to hear that there will not be any parking through the alley because I do have 2 young children, they're pets, and I know that that would be very difficult to have that many people moving through there regularly. I do appreciate that the board took light of the comments made by my neighbor here in previous sessions. And I do have some concerns about what kind of construction would be coming through to build some of this. If it would just be on Chesapeake or some use of the alley to do that. And I also would like to know if, given the added parking, the fact that Chesapeake Avenue already has quite a lot of traffic through there with no stop signs, it's really for the board here, but we weren't considering a stop sign, additional stop signs at that avenue fit in Chesapeake. Because there currently are not some going.
So we have asked the state about that. And they have done traffic studies, and I believe the last 2, they said.
Yeah.
Did not warrant.
That's under, huh? Okay.
And so because that is 261, it is a state road, has to go through them. We can do all the other, right, am I right? Yeah. So just making sure. So yeah, anything that gets done on that road has to be approved by state highway.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so,
I figured I couldn't have been the first one to ask that question.
no, a previous councilwoman, raised it and brought it up. So I think it's been probably 2 or 3 times now, and they've still been a no from the state, so. But there is some suggestions for some other safety issues for that intersection, that we're gonna talk about. Not at this hearing, but not the next work session for the council, but the one following that, probably early in January. Discuss some parking recommendations and other safety issues from Chesapeake Avenue
Oh, no,
to
because there's a driveway there.
Right.
So that'll be the first part out here.
Thanks very much.
That'll be helpful.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm Loretta Santadi, and I live at 403 Fifth Street. That's the corner of Dayton and Fifth. And no, I'm glad that you are not going to come through the alley. I think there's lots of issues. I mean, first of all, you're gonna be hard, you have no road there. But second of all, I think it would be safety coming, I mean, we have a lot of traffic already. Fifth Street, Dayton Street, it's fly. You know, I know you're trying, but to add more traffic behind our house or right beside his house, I mean, it would be a nightmare. So I'm glad to hear you say that they're not gonna be coming through the alley.
Well, then we made that change just for you.
Very much, I'm very appreciative of that.
A little bit bigger than this right here.
Well, it's his call to do and the right thing by us.
Well, even now, when I come out from that alley, from the back of my house to come out on Dayton, if I back out, I'm terrified.
It's tight.
It's not
It's
unusual
tight.
on that section.
So,
And to go all the way down it and then try to snake your way up onto the back of that property would have been just not a good situation, so.
So would someone like to cobble together a motion?
Before we do that, can I ask?
Oh, sure, sorry.
Just a question on the parking. You know that Tom did a great job on the site plan, only because I didn't want to pay COA another $5,000 for us to bring it here and then, you know, turn around and make another change. So my question is, can we settle the parking issue tonight?
I believe
so that I
they're
can
good
send
with
this
it.
to COA?
Yeah, no, I believe they're
We're making the recommendation.
they're
We'll
fine
make the
with other than-
recommendation to the Board of Appeals.
Other than the gutters and the ice guards and then the completed water quality management plan, they're good with the project.
And some bushes or
Yeah.
barriers in the back.
That'll be in the water quality management
Okay.
plan, the planning.
Okay.
Sheila, you want to make a motion?
So, what do we, I'd like to make the motion that we approve the site plans on the condition that we
That we recommend.
we recommend the Board of Appeals approve, based on the fact that they do change the gutters and put in some ice guards and the water management,
Yeah, present the
And
water
present-
quality plan.
water quality plan.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good luck.
Congrats.
I think everything will be fine with the Board of Appeals. I would expect so.
Thanks for detailing that out.
Yeah, and thanks for
Appreciate it.
working
Makes
with
it a lot
us
easier for us to
and the
move
neighbors
through
on
it.
this. Much
It's
appreciated.
not that I don't love you guys. After.
You'll be back.
Am I coming back?
You'll be back.
Oh.
Not for this one.
If you
but-
buy
Yeah,
the
another
property.
property, yeah.
No,
And- Great.
You guys want, look over this while you're doing that, and I'm gonna talk to them on the way out, and then we'll 5-10 minutes on the water resources guys.
Thanks for showing up.
Thank you.
and Expressing your thanks and concern. We don't get much company here, so. Except aggrieved parties. usually.
And welcome to the beach then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, hope it works out for you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye now.
Yeah.
Name that that's residential there. That was our whole,
I know, our whole,
Dual use. You know, my,
Poor language.
no, it's just also, you know, my friend, good friend there lives over in Chesapeake Beach, and he was head of their board at one point. Reverted to concerned citizen.
Yeah.
And then Second Street is where the,
Coming in. to
ice
town.
cream, the, place is on the,
He said the aversion to duplexes.
Yeah.
Is that the tasty?
Tasty Freeze or something. Isn't that, where they have it blocked off now?
Hmm.
So now they're gonna open it up?
Tons of little towns and villas, right?
Well,
And that is a.
proposing that,
And there's a really
Second Street.
nice.
Third Street.
There are a lot of.
one way from the
Yeah.
bay. I don't know, you got
I used to go out there and nice,
You got-
nice area.
And there are
several businesses there. You got,
That doesn't look
Some of
like
them you can set them up.
Is that the Tasty
Commercial
Freezer?
taste.
yeah, I think right on
That's really-
Second and,
that's a-
That's the Tasty Freezer.
Yeah.
You're looking at the regular.
no, yeah, backwards. They're on the water side.
Doesn't look the same.
Yeah. It's like those price points for people, you know what I mean?
No, it's not closed off now.
But if
Oh,
the
oh,
Tasty
okay.
Freezer is, because they have tables.
Duplexes, yeah, some big, big
So-
family homes,
so we
everything.
can't-
But on that drive in, that could be, to me, that would be.
No, that's, doesn't even look like Second Street.
Right.
So this is,
That looks like,
just.
oh, that, that's right.
I got all the type of.
Hmm.
Probably least. Right.
God, you know, and it's crazy, like, you know. Your methadone clinic or something, it's not, you know, it's.
Wait a minute, what?
I'm just joking. How people-
Is that what we just
people-
approved?
people
It's a
like-
perception, I know, it's all, like I said, of all the building stock that you could think of. That's not the one, that's not the one I would have vetoed. You know,
Yeah.
So. We were just talking, my friends over at Chesapeake Beach, and used to be on their board. Coming in the main drag, they've had a lot of code fights and discussions.
So is it on
What
empty?
type of structures to put down that main drag, and for some reason, there's aversion to duplexes, and I said.
What
You know,
about?
all the old towns that I traveled through in PA and everything, that duplex on the main drag and maybe a storefront piece to it
Yeah,
is such a constant. It's like
Mhm.
everywhere, and they can be very nice, and they're not too dense. And I go, why in the world? Of all the things to not want, it seemed to me to be.
Well,
Mm.
clearly,
You know.
that's what was supposed to have happened, but the wording wasn't done correctly. This guy's attorney saw that, because before this board was saying, no, you can't do that. You can't do that rebuild or do that unless you
that'll be
have.
the last one. That's what I was just saying,
Oh,
it's
okay.
too bad. That was
I mean, that's what we were aiming for.
And to be, I just think most developers don't want to get mixed up with commercial. They find it difficult finding tenants,
Oh.
you know, it all around, it's just, many developers feel like it's a hassle. They just want to do a residence, they want to do a condo, they can sell, they want a long-term
Yeah.
rental residence, and they're uncomfortable with commercial.
Oh, that's Sister's Corner on
They
Second
really
Street.
do.
I would agree.
And
No,
so,
wait a minute, Sister's Corner on Second
Guaranteed
Street?
that's
Where,
what-
where's the Tasty Freeze?
Kudos to them, man.
Tasty Freeze is on Chestnut.
Get what you
Is on
want.
what?
Chestnut.
Oh, okay, so that's an in-between street that you're
No,
not
it looks
touching.
nice.
Set in the back.
It looks like a pagoda.
Okay.
Oh, well, I'm just gonna tell
Yeah.
you.
And it'll fit.
Long and slim is tough.
Yeah, so there's a potential to add about
I can
80
attest to that. It's
Yep.
not the easiest. But, you know,
parking spaces, some loading zones. We'll see, there's another, probably 2 more meetings.
The
Wow.
streets are wide enough to do the angle.
Yeah.
I didn't.
You know, half the Seventh Street is already one way.
Bill, it's, if you go in the council meeting
Oh,
before the next few
I
months,
should look at 7.
it's in there.
Jump right on over there.
Oh, he's talking about the water, not the parking.
Oh, okay.
yeah, I was talking about the
The water thing, oh, sorry.
It should be on this one too. I can print one out and send it to you, or I can email you another one.
Just email it to me.
Okay.
Or, it's on the actual board docs?
Yeah,
Oh, okay, I'll pull it up tomorrow. Take a look at it.
I'm sorry, were we supposed to go over this tonight? I mean, before the meeting?
I mean, we could,
Supposed to
it's
do
not,
what?
it's not really that much, it's 11 pages.
Of existing or proposed new?
No, this is what is already in it.
Okay.
And so the the first page, the only thing I've got to get with Public Works. Sit down here if you want to make me sit too. But this, on the first page, about halfway down where it starts, you know, the 2012 comprehensive plan. The top part is all the same stuff. It just talks about the house passages and the laws that made you have to have this. And so when you get down, it says North Beach is in the West Chesapeake Beach Bay Drainage Basin.
Right.
There's some figures in here that I'll have to double check with our billing and Public Works to make sure that that 133 gallons a day is still
Is the right planning
is the
factor?
real, yeah,
Okay.
it's
All right.
still the same.
Yeah, sure.
I'm sure it's probably going up a little bit, but if it hasn't,
As a general comment in this, in my review, this is relatively antiquated reference of studies from 2006, 2015, 16, 17 years old now. So it seems to me that in 2023, 2024, we should endeavor at least to verify, if not reference some earlier or later studies. Because it often, it says in here frequently, anticipated to do this from 10 years ago. I don't know whether we did that or not,
yeah, and that's why I said, I'll get those figures. Some of those figures are gonna be,
Yeah.
Mr. Harrison has already got from the state, from the studies that they do on a regular basis. And then the rest of them have to do with our water treatment plan and our well and where we pump and how much water we pump. He does have all of the current census data, so he's updated that.
Because that's a big jump from 897 to 996 when the households, what the census says, what was projected back in, was it 2006?
Yeah, I mean, it's just throughout it references.
897 to 996 really isn't that much. It's
100 households.
10 houses a year, but it's 10 households a year. So if you had,
I'm assuming the Census Bureau is
Yeah.
996 is what we're at right now.
right,
It's not,
that's roughly, and that's pretty accurate.
okay, but that's a little bit different than what was projected. Which is fine. I mean, you're gonna have some differences, but are we gonna be sufficient in being able to?
So the household projection was a little off, but if you look at the population projection, it was
Mhm.
only off by 45 people.
Right.
I'm confused on the 45 people.
No, it's 147. Wait a minute. No, never mind. It's 47. But,
Yeah.
actually reading this, it does say throughout that we're good with the water. What we have the problem with is the sewer. The sewer system. Since we are, renting, basically, we're one of 4 people renting out of Chesapeake Beach's system.
Well, it's actually not Chesapeake Beach's system, it's everyone's.
It's everyone's,
So
right.
everybody owns I guess, a portion of it. Is that how you would word that, maybe? We all own,
A piece
We're
of,
all stakeholders.
yeah, that's the word they use. Everybody's a stakeholder in it.
where we might not be growing really quickly or fast or able to even, Chesapeake Beach has been growing extensively. And I mean, I think,
Of our 1,300 allocations, I mean, can they impose if they run over? Can they take some of
So
our?
we have
Equal stakeholders.
No, we are not equal stakeholders. We have 1,251. I think we're the second largest stakeholder. Anne Arundel County is the smallest, Chesapeake Beach is the largest, and then,
Yes, us, North Beach County, Calvert County, and
and
then.
then. Anne
We're getting
Arundel.
to this question, which is a good one, about do we, in terms of voting, like, are we secure in the taps we have, or can they be voted on, reapportioned, or,
The taps we have are ours.
okay,
We did not participate in the last upgrade.
Upgrade, so we didn't get an
So we didn't get
increase.
any more.
Okay.
And we didn't get any more because when they did the study to look at what property was left to develop, where it was, what possible developments could go in, they gave an estimate of what we would need. And while we're running low, probably 100 taps left, maybe 80 taps left.
We
There's,
had 120 last year. We've increased by that much.
so it,
Oh.
well, yeah, we had to go back in and look at some of the way we looked at taps on some of the duplexes and some of the other things, so.
They're going fast.
So they are, but there's also not much left, so. It looks like the estimate was pretty close.
So a development like Baywalk, is that considered one tap?
Oh,
No, so Baywalk would be. They have what, 5 businesses?
27 units.
One per unit. plus
20.
One.
27 plus probably one for each business.
So did we just approve 7 taps for the urgent care?
He'll have to pay for 2 additional, there'll be 3.
No, the urgent care, which has 7.
No, so that only has 7 fixtures,
Correct.
so 8 fixtures is 1 tap.
Okay.
and they
So
already
for-
have
in
a
commercial,
tap.
8 fixtures is equivalent to 1 tap, which is, and the way they look at the taps is,
So you're right. He
An
will need
equivalent
3. He's got
dwelling.
like 9 fixtures per unit or something like that. So he already has 1. He
so
needs 2
residential
more.
is 1 tap per household. And then what they call equivalent dwelling units is how you determine commercial status for a tap fixture. So it's 8 fixtures for 1 tap on commercial.
Yeah, but this gentleman here who's building on Chesapeake Avenue, the 3 units.
It'll be 3
Three taps.
apartments, 3
Three.
condos, it'll be 3 taps.
Okay,
Yeah.
There's 1 on site already,
great.
Okay,
and so
two
we'll
more.
have to purchase 2
Yeah, which
more,
makes sense.
Okay.
Probably 2 bathrooms.
How much are a tap? Is a tap?
about $26,000.
Okay,
How does that get paid? Is that get paid by the developer?
You'll have to pay that
Yeah.
tap. That'll be part of his zoning permit.
Normally, yes. If you happen to do the front foot fee, which is what happened in San Francisco.
Oh, smokes, really? Wow, I'm surprised his numbers.
and then what about like the hotel, Russo's proposal? Well, he had, that proposal. I
You
mean-
will need roughly to do with the hotel. So for every 4 hotel rooms is a tap. And then for his commercial spaces, it will be 1 tap for every 8 fixtures. You will need roughly 26 taps.
We've got like.
There you
almost
go.
like
But he
50.
has 14 on site already. Well, he has 17 and then 5 that were there that he still pays for. He has
Wow.
23 already on site.
Okay.
Yeah, but there's gonna, okay, we'll cross.
And they're
Is
already
there
in the.
any
allotment.
way that Chesapeake Beach could vote to allocate themselves additional taps?
Going back to this question.
That's
Right.
it. Yeah, if 3 of the parties decide that us, the
So-
4th party, can get overrun,
So, no.
that's where he
So
was
the
going.
state determines what tap capacity the plant
Plant
has.
has.
And so those allocations have already been made. So our taps are our taps. They can't come and get them.
What determines the capacity of the plant at this time? Is it the size of the pumps? Is it the size of the pipe?
By the filtration system, how much water they can take in at a time.
It's the plant and its operations in a
It's,
whole.
there's a whole mathematical equation that the state uses to determine. I don't think there's gonna be any more taps there. They don't. First off, the state has stopped allowing the type of facility that they have now to exist anymore. Can't build a new one of those that pumps water back out into the bay. They don't have any land left to expand what's there. So the only way they can really get any increase in taps would be
Efficiency gain.
efficiency gains, or if there's some sort of new technology that would improve what's already there. So what there is that's it.
Do we in any way monitor what they do? I mean, they've got a brand new hotel going, a casino, they're building like gangbusters over there, commercial development.
That is.
How do we know what they're doing?
It's currently one of the contention points that we are working through on the back end.
Yeah, it is, So if you look at their comprehensive plan, they have, they put in their comprehensive plan that they have over 1,000 taps available left in Chesapeake Beach.
Yeah, exactly what I'm thinking, yep.
So, the state does audit those plants. And the last audit they did, I believe, was running pretty efficiently, and the numbers didn't change. They didn't make any recommendations for change in taps, so I don't have any fear that our 1251 is in jeopardy at all.
Well, it actually is. I mean, we just laid out a plan to use up about half of those.
No, those ones that Russo has, he already owns. Like, he already has them, so
We're
they've already been deducted from,
Or the hotel?
well, they've already been deducted from what we have total.
Oh,
They were already on site.
So
okay.
there were ones that were already there, so
Even
the
those.
hotel that he currently has 17 units, they all have kitchens, so they, as far as the taps go, they count as a tap. And then there was 5 other facilities on site previously that had been torn down that he has continued to pay the water fees on for 20-some years now. So,
Well, the recommendation I would ask, see if we can make on the water resources is an improvement in the maps. With the technology that we have nowadays with GIS and so forth, we get a lot more detail out of. It's very difficult for me to even kind of figure out what these maps are trying to
and
say.
sadly, these are what they currently look like still if you go on Custer County's water service sewer map.
I mean, this is
1990s
technology, you know?
Yeah, it has.
Even the sewer map, which would have been great to, if that could even be done with a color or something, you can't follow the sewer lines.
So really so all of the numbers and stuff will come from the current census. Mr. Harrison will pull all of any new studies that have been done for water quality management stuff, and he'll add those numbers in here to fix those.
All of them?
Yep.
Okay,
And so really what we're looking at is on page 5, water resources goals. Have they changed? I mean,
Page 5, or I thought that was towards the back of the
page 5,
5 or 13, okay.
yeah, should say water resources goals.
Oh, let's see. Okay, there we go. It's more like,
maybe different page number.
yeah,
And-
it's
And I
the
mean,
size
really,
here.
the goals haven't changed, but I would
On mine, because just the
goals
size.
are still provide good water,
It's page 5,
continue to reduce nutrient runoff into the bay.
so I'm missing it.
I'll go to 6 then.
So one of the other enhancements that he's including in this is the town, what's the was it flood action mitigation plan that was just approved?
Yeah.
That got state approval as well, so that is a 200-page document that they will submit to the state as well. That'll become part of the comprehensive plan.
And,
Where does
Yeah.
that reside?
it should be online now.
The
Flood action.
water mitigation plan?
Yeah, is that how a flood committee or?
Yeah, it is.
Well, when you have a bunch of
Send it
lawyers
out.
that sort of run that committee.
No, I'm interested in it because right now I'm looking at, the new, load factor design for whatever sea level change wherever, and on the generalized loading tables, it only brings in about 0.2 as a factor on a very long equation. So I'd be curious to look at the actual
It's
code they're
pretty
driving
extensive.
to.
It
Okay,
is,
'Cause-
like, it's 200 pages. It's,
Yep. because you can make,
I was actually
You know.
fairly impressed with it. It's,
you can get way off track and spend a lot of infrastructure money incorrectly if you don't know what the actual numbers
yeah,
are, so,
you'll be impressed with it.
okay.
So the goals is, there's 5 goals.
Yep.
And then
They're
the
not gonna,
strategies,
I don't think I don't think that the goals change, right?
Right,
Like
yeah.
those stay the same. So then when you get into the strategies, we've kind of done as much of that as we can. We encourage the rain barrels on the houses in the water quality management plan. I mean, like, we're doing, the only thing I see that we haven't really used is number 5, the dry wells on site. We haven't done any of those. But all the rest of this was implemented into the zoning ordinance. I don't think any of those will change either. We have done some of the other thing, we've replaced and upgraded the pumps like we're recommended.
We did.
Yep.
A third pump station is planned at 7th Avenue and Atlantic.
Yep.
Did that get done?
It's in process.
The money was, I think there was money awarded. It hasn't been, I don't think the contract to have the install done yet, but it's in there. Like I said, in a lot of these implementation strategies, the WR2 and capital improvements are outlined inside of that new water mitigation plan.
Well, on number 1, it right off the bat, increase the number of sewer taps. Are you doing that? Are you able to do that?
We're not gonna do that.
Okay.
We're not gonna be able to do that. Well, it did, we did get an increase from the first time, so that was done. They'll just take that out.
The statement there says, assuming actual growth is consistent with our greater than projected growth, the town will exceed its current allocation by 2024.
So that's possible, but the way it looks now, there isn't anything left. Like, so if we were to develop all the property we have now at its fullest capacity, there would be like 3 taps left.
How can you say that when the redevelopment would probably include going vertical, just like this one did?
So residential
Where you
that
get
goes
2.
vertical won't matter.
It still affects the quantity of taps.
No, a single family home is 1 tap.
Not single family, what we just witnessed here with 3 apartment units.
In the commercial, but that's not gonna happen because,
It's not enough land available.
well, no, because we're gonna put in for the change so that they can't apply for those anymore. Because that was that wording where you decided, no, we really want the commercial on the first floor.
I mean, they'd still have the same number of units, though. You'd still end up with the same number of taps in that
So you're
building.
still only talking 3. So
Yeah.
even if all of that part of Chesapeake Avenue that's allowed to have it did it,
Yeah.
you're talking 12,
Yeah.
15 taps. And there's
And the
90 left.
if it comes to a point where we are out of taps and somebody comes in, it's like, we don't have a tap. You can't do what you want to do.
Yeah, I mean, so that would also limit it. I'm also
That would
doing something
definitely
like,
limit
so
it.
with the library. The library is
Yeah.
required for 3.5 taps.
That was it?
It's just by fixture, so there's, some bathrooms and a couple hand sinks, there's not much else in there.
At one point in time, that had different development on it
Right,
that would have taken up more taps. Like that was a large commercial property.
so those taps probably will not come from our allotment. The county project. My ask of them is, you don't want to pay $80,000 for the zoning permit fee that includes those taps.
Mhm.
Send an addendum that. an
Well, they
agreement
have
that
their
those
own
taps
county
come
allotment.
from the allotment you have.
Yeah, they have their own allotment.
Yeah, yeah.
So their allotment is supposed to be for residential housing outside of here where they are now not allowing wells or septic systems. But if they have them.
Yeah.
They should use them.
Right.
Um,
Sure.
Question on that, Holland Point area and such,
Everything from Holland Point pumps through North Beach and into the water treatment plant.
right, but we have the sewer, but we have wells. What if all of a sudden it came to a point that we had to get rid of the wells and go into, public water?
That's Anne Arundel
Yeah,
County.
On the Anne Arundel side, then they would look at the water, at the well treatment up in Rosehill.
Gotcha.
So the hotel complex, the different drafts that are out there have, does the existing sewerage, like west and north, the mains, is that gonna be able to accommodate that large of a?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be my only thing, is that we wanna go over those numbers in detail once again.
Yeah, well,
In
and
case you've gotta do
that'll be,
something on the
that'll
street
be,
lines.
well, that'll be part of it too, is,
Okay,
so Mr. Russo is scheduled for a work session with, the council. Whatever your November work session is. So he is coming in to propose, so he won't be proposing the hotel at this time. It'll just be the shops.
right,
He initially wanted to do, like you guys have seen before, 2 phases.
yep,
The county has now stopped allowing phased construction at all.
Hmm. okay,
It's singular, and that's the only way they'll approve it. So we'll have to submit one set, then
Okay.
the second set. Part of the reason they did that was because people were doing 2 and 3 phase projects. And they were only completing like the water quality stuff for just the single phase. And then it was getting messed up as they added the other phases on. So now they're making them do just one at a, this is it. If you're doing the shops, it's the shops. You do your complete water quality critical area work for that project. And then when you do your next one, you start all over again.
I have a question similar to that on, for example, the Bakest, who proposed when they submitted here, they had a grease separator. Walked by there the other day, there's no grease separator there,
There's no kitchen in there yet either.
no kitchen yet.
No.
Nope.
So what
She
you're getting ready to do.
she lost her supporters,
She has only been approved for,
money in it.
retail sales, no food.
Yeah. there's
So
nothing-
until she can have
Yeah,
until she can have that grease trap installed, she cannot put the kitchen in and move her.
Oh, I'll be darned. Didn't know.
But I believe she said that she's gotta be out of her space on the corner. She's got a certain date, that she's gotta be out of there. So,
Yeah,
she said
she's
got-
working.
She's working it, yeah, she said she's got the funding now to do the grease trap.
Yeah, they're working towards it. Oh, it's not cheap,
no, I know, it's just, that's,
What's the ballpark on, like 30,
40 grand.
40?
that's
Everything now is mandated.
that's if everything works.
That's just.
40 grand for
Connect.
$300 piece of concrete.
Yeah, that's just the outside. You still gonna do a plumbing inside, right?
Yeah, I went in the wrong business. I should install grease traps. You can buy 2,200, you can buy 2,000-gallon septic tank for $1,800.
Seriously,
Hey, I mean, that's all it is. I mean, they call it a grease center something, but it's exactly the same thing as a 2,000-gallon septic system.
It's just got 3 compartments.
Well, you have to change the piping a little bit, yeah, it is. Yeah.
I mean, but they buy them from the same place.
Yep.
They just have retrofits for the fittings on the outside. I mean, it's insane.
and I see it at Vaughn Cheese, their septic system, not septic, their grease trap and all like that, they've got tables on top of it and everything, so it's not so she'll be able to use that back area also with tables, which will be nice.
Yeah.
That's right up against the building, that grease trap.
Yeah.
They're gonna, that's an old,
It's
it's gonna be a.
cinder block. I mean, they did the one on Second Street for Vaughn
That's true,
Cheese,
they
and
did that
that
one.
house was 1930. I mean,
Yeah.
it's,
You squeeze that in there.
Yeah,
But then they have to redo that to make it bigger or something like that.
that was hook and vine, and
Yeah,
they had a 1,500-gallon, and the health department said, no, you have to have $500-gallon supplemental in order to get approved.
That was not easy.
No, in all actuality, squeezing that in when they did was every bit as tight as the Vaughn Cheese one was.
Yeah,
And the funny thing is they regularly have it pumped like they're supposed to according to the ordinance. And, that 500-gallon supplemental has almost never had anything in it.
are we still being recorded, by the way?
You're still an open meeting.
okay, maybe we should
Ready to close?
Yeah, I think so.
What
Okay,
about
so-
Just follow up on.
I will get with Mr. Harrison. I'll let him know that the main pieces as far as, goals and implementation have not changed. And we still want to move towards green infrastructure, green roofs. He'll get with Public Works to determine all the things, capital improvements that have happened or not happened. I sent him a list already, so those should be updated. He has comments back from the state on these, and I will schedule him to come in and talk, to let everybody know where he's at. Hopefully the next meeting.
Are we gonna see the revisions as piecemeal, just to look them over one time, or are we gonna look at all of it?
He'll do just this one. We'll see this one
Okay.
as a whole. So he's trying to work with the state to do the ones that are easy, that need very little changes. Or the changes that he can get from the census or other things, and then we'll bring it in.
Great. Anyone like to make a motion to close?
I'll do a motion that we, close the meeting for October 10th.
Second.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Are we all?